welcome our resource person, Dr. Matt, Training and Placement Officer, IIT Kottayam. I'm also happy to welcome our faculty members and dear students. At this moment, I would like to thank our management for granting me this opportunity for hosting the webinar Entrepreneurship and Innovation as Career Opportunity. Our resource person is a doctoral degree holder in management with a first class MBA degree and having more than 15 years of experience in teaching at BTech and postgraduate level. He is an approved PhD guide of Kerala University of Fisheries and Ocean Studies in the School of Management and Entrepreneurship. He has several international journal publications and had presented many research papers in international and national conferences. He was working as Associate Professor and Training and Placement Officer, Department of Management Studies in Talk H Institute of Science and Technology, Kochi, Kerala. He had completed his tenure in Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, lecturer. Matthew had completed sponsored research for COIA board worth 10.2 lakhs and also prepared diagnostic study report for KVIC mini cluster that is having 1 crore value. He had also carried out duties as reviewer in Common Ground Publishing USA and Cornell Hospitality Quarterly USA. He had served as professor and principal in MES Golden Jubilee College, Kottayam. Presently, he is doing postdoctoral fellowship in eclectic theories of economics and also working as adjunct faculty in management studies in Indian Institute of Information Technology, Kottayam. Also, he is working as the training and placement officer in the institute. He got copyrights for the new learning theory, retrospective experimental learning by Registrar of Copyrights Government of India as part of his PDF work. I'm indeed happy to welcome you, sir. Thank you for accepting our invitation amidst your busy schedule, sir. Welcome you.
I think I can take over.
Yes, sir. Please.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. S. Rajarashmi, Head of the Department of Biomedical Engineering, and in Mahendra College of Engineering, and Assistant Professor Mr. P.H. Kumar. He has extended the invitation. Basically, it is a non-instructional day for us because one technical program is going on. Technofest is going on. It is called as Dhruva. And basically, I represent Triple IT, not IIT. IIT is at Palakkad. It is known as Indian Institute of Information Technology, Kottayam. So nice to see that some 73 participants are there. We also used to conduct webinars because we normally our attendance percentage is around 50 to 60. So this seems to be a good response. And I believe that today is a working day for you. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so they have carved out some time for me today.
We are interested to get your speech.
Okay, and how long they expect me to have the discussion?
Maybe till 12:30, sir.
No, I don't take. Yes, it is already. It is 11:45, and the fact is that instead of having just a lecture or one-way dialogue, one way of representing things, I would like to have a dialogue because the students can also ask their questions so that we can carry on. Otherwise, because even for 45 minutes, if I talk continuously, it may be a bit monotonous. So regarding this entrepreneurship, I would like to say the scenario in engineering colleges in Kerala. Obviously, the first option is campus placement because everybody looks for campus placements. Unfortunately, the people who did not get selected in campus placement go for either higher studies or they just start a startup. Okay. Is it something different in your area in Tamil Nadu, or people are much more interested in entrepreneurship? Is it the way in Tamil Nadu, or is it something different?
Some students are oriented towards entrepreneurship, sir. They
Okay.
are interested, but they don't have proper guidance and motivation.
Let me ask you one thing. How many are really interested among, especially in a batch of 60 or 70? How many are really interested?
Maybe some 10%, sir, not more
Oh,
than that.
that's well and good. Even 10% is a sizable number. And because frankly speaking, I take care of placements in Indian Institute of Information Technology, Kottayam. Here, people are asking me the job of 20 lakhs, 10 lakhs, or 30 lakhs because recently we generated an offer for even 37 lakhs in one company and another offer for 30 lakhs. But thing is that people have got the skill, people have got the coding skills, people have got the computer fundamental skills, and they are good at technical skills, but only very few. Just for the namesake, they may be having a startup registered in on their names, but that their main intention is to get started with a good organization with some very good starting pay. Okay, especially in institutes of national importance, there is option for getting differential pay package. The same company offers a differential pay package to the students from national institutes, institute of national importance. So, why regarding the boosting of the entrepreneurship scenario, actually, before going at the engineering college level, I just want to trace the history of this entrepreneurship. Okay, I believe that operations management is one of your papers, or did you have got a paper called production and operations management as part of your curriculum in
No,
Mahindra
sir.
College?
No, sir, no.
No, okay. Actually, thing is that for mechanical engineering and even here at Indian Institute of Information Technology, we have got a management paper called Operations and Supply Chain Management. Okay, and one of the chapters in that particular paper is all about small scale industry, how to promote small scale industry. Actually, I did my MBA long back in 1999 from Karunya Institute of Technology, Coimbatore, under Bharathiar University. And at that point of time, we had a paper called Entrepreneurship Development. My specialization was HRM and marketing. And entrepreneurship development as well as management of innovations were two generalistic papers. Okay. So we had discussed as students, we had discussed among ourselves what is the purpose of this paper or what this paper is actually intended for. Actually, somebody told that this is for someone who starts an industry. Okay, obviously we prepared for the paper and all the questions which were asked during the examination was purely generalistic ones. Okay, so it as a general paper we all got through, and after that no I because we were in touch at that point of time, there was no social media and even mobile phones were rare, and uh, after some time we did not have much connection among ourselves, and as far as my information is concerned, within the first 2 years of our graduation nobody started any entrepreneurship, or the modern term which is recently coined is startup. Nobody started any sort of startups. So this, even though the 10% of the students are interested for entrepreneurship or startups, and among this 10%, only 10% of the startups really come up with the flying colors and they really make profits. Okay. And as students are there, let me ask, the teacher in me always comes up, and one of the student, because maybe, please tell me, and what is the difference between an entrepreneurship and startup, or both are same, or is can we expect any difference between entrepreneurship and startup? Some students are in the window. I'm not calling any names because thing is that I have come and invited to take a deliver, and invited to deliver a talk on entrepreneurship. I'm not troubling you too much, but your, just for breaking the ice. Okay, I would like to hear from you also. Or what's the difference between entrepreneurship and startup? Or you can say any, because I'm not going to evaluate, or I'm not going to grade you, or because thing is that I'm only an external person based on invitation only. So you are free to talk to me, and whatever the idea you have got, you can talk to me. What could be the difference between entrepreneurship and startup? Don't be too polite because treat me as one among you, no problem. And thing is that can I hear from one of you, or what could be the difference between an entrepreneurship and startup, or both are same? Dr. S. Rajalakshmi Madam, can I hear from one of your students?
Students, kindly interact with him. Students, please interact with
please,
us.
please don't push them, because thing is that it is just for an ice breaking that I had asked.
Yes, sir. But let them do it.
Let them do it.
Whatever you feel in your mind, you please share with him. He's here with us only to educate us.
Not for educating, actually, it is just for an interaction. And if you have got some takeaways towards the end, I am only happy. That's
Yes.
all. Actually, entrepreneurship cannot be taught, it has to be practiced. The only thing is that we can create a good ecosystem. The ecosystem really helps the students to have entrepreneurship, or shall we say the new buzzword, startup.
Sir, actually, many of them don't know what is meant by entrepreneurship exactly.
Exactly. Okay. So, thing is that let us forget about textbook definitions, because I I believe that you're not going to write a paper on entrepreneurship. Okay. So let us see the difference between entrepreneurship and startup, because many people believe that both are same. Actually, it is not. Say, for example, I don't know the scenario in Tamil Nadu. Later on, we have got one more recent university set by the Kerala government. This is known as Kerala University of Digital Sciences. Actually, ours is Indian Institute of Information Technology under Ministry of Education. The other one is under Kerala government, and the new VC of the Kerala University of Digital Sciences is Dr. Saji Govinath. Okay. Actually, this there was a lot of debate about entrepreneurship and startup, and Dr. Saji himself was a professor from IIM Goldkot, and he got his PhD from IISc Bangalore, and even MTech also from IISc Bangalore. And during one of the interactions, he was asked, "Sir, what is the difference between entrepreneurship and startup, or do you think both are same?" But actually, lot of people think that both are same, but actually it is not. Entrepreneurship is different, startup is different. Say, for example, a small restaurant or cafeteria, or shall we say Xerox center, it could be known as an entrepreneurship, or shall we say any business activity intended for profits, it could be known as an entrepreneurship. At the same time, if the cafeteria, or shall we say a restaurant, is using an innovative app like what Somata is doing, okay, definitely we could rate that entrepreneurship as a startup. In another way, the technology oriented entrepreneurship could be deemed as a startup. The small difference is that earlier it was just a cafeteria or a restaurant. Now it has started using a small it has started using an innovative app or innovative technology. So any technology oriented entrepreneurship could be deemed as a startup. I believe that it is a bit understandable definition. Okay. The topic itself is about entrepreneurship and innovation. Okay. When innovation gets merged with entrepreneurship, definitely it becomes a startup. And entrepreneurship as a career is obviously a tough one, really a tough one. Okay. And it has become more challenging and tougher during this pandemic period. But you may not believe that even during this pandemic period, certain companies have made profits. Say, for example, Zoom apps. Today we are using Google Meet, Zoom apps, YouTube, social media. These platforms have really made profits. Okay. And coming back to your domain, this biomedical engineering. And let me ask again, I'm really sorry to ask you one more question. What is really e-plans? Because I'm just giving you some ideas on entrepreneurship, or shall we say startup, that you can work on. Just a minute. Okay. And certain, I would like to point out certain startup ideas, because you must you must have heard about e-plants, or shall we say electronic plants. And what is actually electronic plants? Because your area is actually biomedical engineering. What is actually the electronic plants or e-plants? Any idea? Can you, because or are you just coming across the term now, or are you, did you ever hear about e-plants, electron?
Sir, they're not familiar with the term, sir.
Okay. Dr. Rajalakshmi Madam, you are very lucky that you have got a very polite, humble, and silent
Always
students.
silent students.
Always
Yes.
silent students, because I is really happy, because thing is that as a teacher, I used to take management papers to the students, and whenever I go, because basically management paper is not their cup of tea, because making them sit, making the class properly, and making them attend my class is not at all an easy thing for me, because thing is that their bread and butter is computer science. Still, I am talking from a different domain, just like entrepreneurship, and still people are very silent. I am, to a certain extent, it is a blessing, and to a certain extent, the actually the interaction is encouraged. Okay. And e-plants is actually electronic plants. And I believe that all of you are familiar with what is photosynthesis. Through photosynthesis, plants generate organic material. Okay. And certain part of the organic material is used for plants growth. But actually, if the organic material is produced through photosynthesis is excess, certain part of the organic material gets exerted to the soil through the roots of the plant. Okay. Actually, bacteria decomposes the organic materials, and some electrons are getting generated. And these electrons could be converted as generating electricity. Because am I right? Because my basic subject is actually BSc Mathematics plus MBA, and the only thing is that I got some exposure with the startups and entrepreneurship. Am I right, Dr. Rajalakshmi, or is there anything missing, or is it simply a
No, sir, you're
bluffing?
right. It's
As I am
exactly.
right. Okay. So it seems to be an utopian concept, because plants generate electricity, but actually it is not. Say, for example, in your domain, agriculture, biomedical, and biotechnology area, lot of research is happening in a Norway-based university. It is known as, we are trying our level best to ink an MOU with them. This university is known as Wageningen University in Norway, or shall we say in Holland. Actually, in Wageningen University, they do a lot of research on this e-plant area. Okay, lot of working papers are there, a lot of research papers are there. Let us hope that in due course of time, they will come up with a tangible and measurable output. So, obviously, it is a startup idea. And the thing is that I would just like to say, from IIIT Kottayam point of view, Indian Institute of Information Technology point of view, actually, the thing is that as a institution under Ministry of Education, as an INI institute, an institute of national importance, we have got an adult innovation center. Adult innovation center is actually for promoting entrepreneurship. We have got some 23 startups registered there. And none of the startups are from IIIT. All of them are from outside Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, and altogether there are some 23 startups are there. And some startups are actually keen on agri-based outputs, and as well as biomedical or biotechnology-based startups are there. So here, among these 23 startups, one startup is actually keen on working in the sea plant area. And obviously, we have got an IEEE ACM chapter in our institution, in Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. It is an international body, ACM IEEE chapter, and we used to conduct seminars through them, and we invite resource persons from outside. And one of the seminars we had conducted some 5 months or 6 months back is about application of IoT in agriculture. That means Internet of Things in agriculture. Because this time I'm not going to ask you any questions, because thing is that for some reasons you are keeping silent. So application of IoT in agriculture. Thing is that there is a particular startup that works on hydroponics. Because as it is your cup of tea, what is actually hydroponics? Hydroponics is soilless farming. Am I right? Is actually through the application of IoT in hydroponics, the soil content, hydroponics itself is actually the soilless farming. Actually, the moisture content, temperature, pH value, everything could be regulated. Okay, this is actually a startup idea. So I am just giving you some insights on where you can start with some ideas. The idea could be nurtured, and ultimately it has to go up to the level of prototype. Okay, so this is one startup idea. Another one is geographical information systems. Geographical information system enabled agriculture or precision farming. It is also not a new idea, because it has been there for a while. So regarding this geographical information system enabled agriculture, through the application of GIS or geographical information system, actually the right kind of maneuvering could be done. Actually the soil erosion could be controlled, yield could be predicted in advance. Lot of applications are there. These are all startup idea where you can work. Okay, because actually it is something related to your domain. And I would like to say one more thing. Normally what happens with the startups, they come with an open mind. They do not have any idea, and they try their level best to work on and work on their ideation process, and they go up to the level of developing a prototype. Okay, so actually it is up to them to find out the resources and go up to the level of a prototype. Then after reaching up to the level of prototype, they go for the pitching, or shall we say presentation. Through the pitching, they generate the funds for their startups. Okay, so the fact is that lot of research is happening in biotechnology area or biomedical engineering area. Okay, but research is happening in academia or in industry area, and a lot of research is happening in management field also. The engineering research as well as the biomedical research gives innovative products, and at the same time, shall we say, the management research gives innovative practices. But really, we need to have a proper blend of innovative practices as well as innovative products. So I believe that there should be a proper blend of engineering research and management research. And this research findings could be made available to the startup community so that they can encash on that. So obviously, it is not at all easy to come up with a startup or ideation process, and and it is not at all easy to make your startup a successful one also. But still, there are a lot of options for making it successful, and you can mobilize funds through angel investors, venture capitalists. Recently, one startup was in news. It is known as Open. Open is a started by three persons, and one person's qualification is just 10th class. Okay, thing is that recently Google invested some 785 crores in that startup. The fact is that it is a fintech, financial technology startup. These days, fintech startups has got greater value, and even if somebody starts a startup, if the start even if the startup fails, still there are options. There is something called startup validation or startup valuation. Once the startup gets validated or valuated, actually somebody, the angel investor, or shall we say the venture capitalist, is actually ready to infuse some funds into that startup. Because as we all know, Zomato did not make any revenue at any point of time, but their IPOs were sold out for 1,000 rupees or more than 1,000 rupees. And ultimately, the promoters, or shall we say the initial investors, got all their funds back. And even though it did not generate any profits, employees were paid neatly. And as it did not generate any money, they were not liable to pay any income tax at all. So, startup is actually a different domain, and there are lot of options and opportunity for startups. And as I said earlier, as a person who works in academia, I am little bit familiar with the pulse of the students, because nobody wants to burn their fingers badly by venturing into startups. Because as I said earlier, only 10% of the students are interested in startups or entrepreneurship, and among this 10%, only 10% of the startups are successful in the long run. Okay, so nobody wants to ruin their career. So does it really help you in any way? Suppose if let us expect the worst scenario. Suppose if the startup failed, does it help you in your career, or can we just deem it that failure is always always the stepping stone to success? Nothing like that. Because are you really risking your career by venturing into startup, or what's your opinion on venturing into a startup and failing and reaching your career nowhere? Is it well and good spoiling your career after venturing into the startups? I would like to say one thing. Suppose even if you fail, there are some good news waiting for you. And actually, my contacts with P.H. Kumar, the assistant professor in your department, started some 2 or 3 years back. And at that point of time, I was working in an Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, and we used to attend conferences as part of our job. And Tycon conference is one of the conferences that is popular across the country and even in abroad. And it was conducted at Kochi Le Meridian. And obviously, at that point of time, Startup Mission CEO was one chairperson and two other chairpersons from Microsoft. One person is from a startup and another person was from Wipro, I believe so. Okay. And they were just debating on startups and its potentiality, its probability of success, everything. Okay. And one interesting thing that happened at that point of time is that the Microsoft representative told that we prefer people who started a startup and still failed. So they know at least how to manage the company. They know at least they know the intricacies of how to manage a company, and they have gone to the strenuous process of managing and running a company. So we always give preference to students who just started a startup and still failed, and for employment purpose we give them some preferences. The Microsoft version. So obviously the CEO of Startup Mission, Dr. Saji Govinda, told that don't make it mandatory. If you make it mandatory, what happens? People tend to fail. People just start a startup and they tend to fail, so that there is chance that you may get placed in Microsoft. Okay, it's nothing like that. Obviously, starting a company and running a company is something that gives you some sort of exposure. Okay, and one more thing is that how to really start a company, or how a company would be deemed as a startup. Okay, and from the labor point of view, there are certain labor rules existing in this country, like Minimum Wages Act, PF Act, Maternity Act. Okay. And what is the benefit of a startup? A company is deemed as a startup if it has got employees strength less than 20. And actually, a company is deemed as a startup for the first 5 years of its existence. And why do you want to register a company and get it deemed as a startup? Is it really necessary? Suppose a lot of legal intricacies are there in this world. Okay, suppose if you just start a startup, if you just start an industry and it is not having any legal entity or legal formality, what happens if you generate 50,000 as profit? This 50,000 profit is considered as black money. So, in order to legalize your business, actually, you need to have a startup entity. I would like to say one thing. Say, for example, how to have the legal entity for the company. First of all, your company has to be registered as a private limited company. For a private limited company, the minimum number of people required for a private limited company is actually two. Okay. And most of the startups these days, with the assistance of a chartered accountant, get their company registered as LLP. LLP is actually Limited Liability Partnership. Have you gone through the website of Google? What sort of company it is? Is it an LLP? I believe Google is an LLP. Okay. So once your company is registered either as a private limited company or as an LLP, you need to have the required documents get uploaded in Startup India website. Because if you upload wrong information again, there is option for getting you penalized. So once you upload the documents in Startup India website, actually what happens is that you will get the startup certificates within no time. Maybe within 1 hour you will get the certificate issued to you. Once your company is deemed as a startup, you have got this much benefits, and there are a lot of grants which are available for startups. And once your company is deemed as a startup, you can invite angel investors, you can invite venture capitalists, you can participate in pitching. Pitching is a domain where you get yourself trained and present your business idea before a bunch of potential investors. And if your business idea is found to be well and good and it is cashable, definitely they infuse money into your system. Okay. And one more thing that I want to say that because I work in Kerala, and your college is actually in Tamil Nadu. In Kerala, we have got Kerala Technological University. As part of Kerala Technological University's initiative to promote innovations in engineering campuses, actually, we have got an IEDC centers in almost all the campuses. IEDC center is Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Center. Okay. As part of IEDC center, one nodal officer is getting appointed, and nodal officer is actually a faculty, and there are nodal officers from the part of students also. Actually, this IEDC center initially gives a grant of 2 lakhs, and later on, based on the activity that you are carrying out, basically most of the activities are training activity to make the people familiar with the startup ecosystem and getting them inducted into startup scenario and how to do the pitching correctly. Because for all this purpose, actually, you need you need to have some sort of training, and this training is getting imparted to the IEDC centers. So, and do you have any such innovation and entrepreneurship development centers across the state? Any faculty or any the HOD or do you have any entrepreneurship and development centers promoted by the university or startup mission in
So we
colleges of
are
the?
under MSME scheme, sir, but we don't have any startups yet. We are in the process of going through that, sir.
IEDC. Actually, this is known as IEDC, Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Center. And I told earlier, we have got AIC, Adult Innovation Center. It is a 3.5 crores project supported by Nidhi Aayog. And recently, we got another MSME Incubation Center, got affiliated to this AIC. And at some 1.5 years back, before the outbreak of COVID, we had signed an MOU with Reliance Nest Geo. NestGen by Reliance Geo. Okay, actually, it is the acceleration center of this Reliance. Okay, and obviously, when startups are formed, they have to work in an incubation center. Okay, obviously, the incubation center that is associated with the engineering colleges are TBI, Technology Business Incubation Center. These TBIs are supported by DST, Department of Science and Technology. And this, in addition to TBIs, there are other incubation centers like ABI, Agri Business Incubation Center. This is actually supported by ICAR, Indian Council of Agriculture Research. And still, there are some other incubation centers like LBI, Livelihood Business Incubation Centers. These are supported by Kaya Board and other Khadi and Village Industries Commission, because it's also supported. And biomedical incubation centers are also there. Actually, what these incubation centers provide to the startups. Thing is that suppose if you have started a startup, obviously you need a lot of technical guidance. And there was a research study which was published in Business India. I believe that it was in Business India. And it was all about why the Indian startups fail. And according to the statistics which was published, around 80% of the Indian startups fail because of the reason that they are unable to market the product. Okay, obviously you must be having good idea, you must have a good prototype, but you are unable to pitch it to the right audience, and you are unable to cash in on. So because of the inadequate marketing, and also the business plan has to be prepared. In TBI, lot of trainings have been imparted. Say, for example, while I was working with the Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, we had conducted a technical entrepreneurship development program supported by DST, Department of Science and Technology. This technical development entrepreneurship development program was on IoT. Obviously, our facility was different. We are not associated with any engineering college. So we had purchased a Raspberry kit, Arduino board, and other equipments from Amazon. And we had conducted this program, and there were participants even from Andhra Pradesh. He was an engineering college student, and ultimately, some of them had ventured into startup scenario after that training program. So, actually, in technology business incubation, whatever the technology required to facilitate your business, and you get trained on that particular technology domain. There are biomedical engineering, there are DST supports biomedical technology business incubators, and the IoT enabled business incubators. Thing is that while you get yourself, your USL means your institute get registered as a TBI, technology business incubator or biomedical incubator, you need to identify the areas where you are going to concentrate. Perhaps it may be IoT, perhaps it may be cloud computing, perhaps it may be something this agri based ones, or biotechnology, or shall we say tourism. So you need to identify which are the areas you are going to concentrate, and in those particular area you are supposed to impart training. And this is the initial stages of incubation. And how long, I told about how to register a startup either by a private limited company or an LLP. You just register your firm, get your documents uploaded in Startup India portal, then you get started with an incubator. If you are working with an incubator, thing is that you just need to pay 2000, maximum 2000 or 3000 rupees as to the incubator. And thing is that you can utilize the facility uninterrupted internet connection, conference rooms, and also it is the incubator's job to get yourself connected to the venture capitalist, or shall we say angel investors. So ultimately you get a lot of facilities. And only till 2 years, you can continue as an incubator. Okay, you can continue as an incubatee. Okay. So what's the next stage after incubation? The next stage after incubation is actually acceleration. Okay, I told you about the Reliance Geo Next Gen Accelerator. Actually, the difference between incubator and accelerator is that accelerator actually invests some money in the startups. Okay, in lieu of that, the accelerator gets shares of the startup. Okay, and accelerator is actually a different concept. And in Tamil Nadu, you have got Forge Accelerator. It is being run at Coimbatore. You just Google out and find out Forge Accelerator. There are some very good startups working in Forge Accelerator. Actually, thing is that as part of investment, the accelerator invests some money in those startups, and in lieu of that, the accelerator gets shares of the startup. Okay, so what is the advantage of this? While you Google out the startup news, you may be wondering that the people who invest in startups are Amitabh Bachchan, or shall we say Hrithik Roshan. Thing is that they find this is the right venue for investing their money. First of all, there are a lot of concessions and a lot of advantages while you invest in startups. And next thing is that if the startup has got the potential, it would go like anything. As I told earlier, I told you the example of Open. Okay, Open is actually a fintech startup. Now, recently, even Google invested some 785 crores. And next, I would like to say one thing, because during the introduction part, the Dr. Rajalakshmi was kind enough to say that I had worked as a principal in an arts and science college. Actually, thing is that while I was working in a arts and science college, we had started an entrepreneurship development club. Okay, in that college. And thing is that some students were sent for training in Kerala Institute of Entrepreneurship Development, and it was a very strenuous training with a lot of activities. Actually, thing is that the entrepreneurship concept is all about teaching entrepreneurship through games. There are some games you can Google out, because as we are doing it online, I am not in a position to
Okay, sir.
show you. You are familiar with that. Tower, actually, it is known as a tower game, and as well as ring toss. There are certain games. You just Google out ring toss in game in entrepreneurship and tower game. And thing is that through these games, they teach you the entrepreneurship, and and also there is a fact that there are if nodal agencies like Startup Mission who sponsor the nodal officer, or nodal officer is obviously faculty, to undergo some training. There is one training called Empretec training by United Nations Development Program. I would like to say the spelling: EMPRETEC, Empretec training by United Nations Development Program. The thing is that it is a 1.25 lakhs training, but if Startup Mission or some other agency promote it, definitely you can attend the training. And this training itself has got the UN model with some game oriented training on entrepreneurship. Okay, and somebody has raised the hand, and is it happened accidentally, or is there any question? Okay, so just I was allowed to speak till 12:30. Now it is 12:21. Just some 5 or 6 minutes are left, and is for any interaction or any kind of questions are there, it is most welcome. Even though I had a PowerPoint presentation, I preferred to have the interactive mode instead of having the PowerPoint presentation. And you are most welcome to ask me questions, because actually this kind of interactions becomes more fruitful and more interesting and more energetic whenever there are at least one or two questions. Okay. As far as the inputs from my end are concerned, because I just want to wind up with this. And again, I would like to thank Dr. S. Rajalakshmi, the HOD of Mahendra College and Biomedical Department, Mahendra College, and Assistant Professor Mr. P.H. Kumar. Thank you, and thanks a lot. And even though it's a Friday. There are some 75 participants, and thank you all the participants. And the PowerPoint the presentations I am not getting exposed to you. But the fact is that because now there are only 5 or 6 minutes left, and if questions are there, most welcome to answer the questions.
So good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
So we had a very nice session, sir. But I have a specific question, sir. Is there any specific courses or any training to be taken to enter into entrepreneurship related to biomedical engineering? Something.
Okay, Mariam Josh. Okay, thank you. Thanks for asking these questions because thing is that I told you about my case. Basically, my qualification is MBA, PhD, and postdoctoral fellowship in some other domain. It is not at all concerned with entrepreneurship. Okay, thing is that while I had graduated from the institute, from the college, there was no such a term going to end startup. But in order to get myself familiarized with the startup, what I had done is that I had undergone a free course, and this free course is getting imparted from Startup India because I had passed that course. Don't worry, and I got awarded a certificate also. Thing is that after the course, they ask you some questions, some cases, and you have to answer those questions and queries. Okay, so it gives you some exposure in that area. And you are asking about biomedical and biotechnology area. For that, you need to go to the website of Department of Biotechnology or Biomedical, and you need to find out, is there any incubator or technology business or biomedical incubator, the biomedical incubators. And if you are really keen on that, I would say that we have got an incubation facility. It is not very connected with me. The thing is that there was a discussion with some of the nodal officers some 5 or 6 months back, and thing is that I will share that contact with the Dr. S. Rajalashmi, and they are running a biotechnology or biomedical oriented incubation center at Kochi, and his name is some Chris or something. So it is also there. Yes, and the thing is that if you are really keen on that, I will share that contact details with Dr. S. Rajalashmi. It is a biotechnology or biomedical oriented incubation facility there, and it is supported by one of the ministry. It is, I believe that it is by Department of Biotechnology. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, I'm Priyesh Kumar, sir. Sir,
Yes,
can you
because
elaborate about incubation, sir? Because our students are not aware, mostly not aware of incubation. You can explain what are the procedure and process in incubation, sir?
okay, basically it is incubation is actually is technology oriented because while you start an industry, what the input that you require is technology oriented ones. Okay, in TBA's technology business incubator in Kerala, one of the best incubator is known as Samal Jyoti College, Kanjirapalli. Okay, and we have, and in our domain actually we got specialized in cloud computing and as well as in IoT, Internet of Things. As I said earlier, there may be agri-business incubation, ABI, LBI, livelihood business incubation. You get trained on livelihood businesses like in cottage industries like coir products, mat products, and khadi and village industries products. And basically, livelihood business incubator is different, and biotechnology incubator is also different. Suppose Piyush Kumar has started a startup. You may be just wondering how to proceed. You need some inputs on certain areas. Suppose if your startup is in on cloud computing, in that cloud computing, you need to get connected to the right people, and